Hi everyone, how are you all doing today? So what I thought would be a really good place to start with some of our mini workouts is kind of a basic introduction to some of the Pilates exercises that you'll see us doing in our live classes. And that these are some of the exercises that you can build upon, and you'll see kind of as we gradually go through the weeks and the months how they can be progressed to make them more challenging or work your body in a different kind of way. So I know many of you have been doing Pilates with me for a little while now, so it's going to be like a really good recap and refresh for you, for your minds and your bodies. And for anyone who hasn't done Pilates with me before, or it's been a while since you've done it, this is also going to be a really great chance for you just to kind of sit back in, kind of get a real good sense of what's happening in your body, how everything should work, which muscles we should connect and engage, and it's hopefully going to give you a better understanding kind of as we go forwards throughout our classes. So just a couple of things when we're doing it is when you hear me talking about Pilates, we'll do a lot of work on our posture. So these are really nice exercises that anybody and everybody can join in with, just as long as you're being mindful of where that movement is coming from. Whenever I'm teaching it to you, I'll kind of give you guidance and kind of a bit of suggestions and different ways to try it so it feels good for you. Whenever we are kind of working for our Pilates class, you'll hear me talk about working in your neutral position. So all that really means is that you're thinking about maintaining the natural curve of your spine. So a long time ago, this was perceived to mean that you are drawing in through your centre and you're kind of flattening your back to the floor. But kind of as time has progressed, this isn't something that we really look at doing anymore, because it's forcing your body into a position that we don't normally work in naturally. So it's not necessarily good for everybody. So when I say neutral position, I mean working for the natural curve of your spine. So if I turn sideways, you see everybody's different. So my natural curve is very small. My pelvis naturally tucks under, so I've not got a lot of lumbar region curve. But you might find you're the opposite, and you've got a lovely big curve, which means you're always going to have a really perky bum, which is great for you. But it also means that you're then going to have to work harder to kind of strengthen through your front here and lengthen from here. So there's obviously pros and cons no matter what we do. But your neutral position is somewhere that's comfortable for you, where we're thinking about drawing the front of the body into the back of the body without really changing the structure of the spine too much. And that applies both to the position of your pelvis and of your lower back in particular. We also think about finding the connection through our rib cage, and I think this really helps us to connect through both the upper body and the lower body. So you'll hear me talk about just drawing your rib cage down, and that means that when we're kind of working either sitting or laying down, we want to make sure that the rib cage doesn't flare away. So we're just closing that rib cage down, allowing us to keep the natural curve of the spine. And it's also then going to help us find this deeper connection as we draw in. Then there are a couple of other little things that we talk about. So think about lifting through the pelvic floor. So for many women, this can be quite a hard thing to feel, either because of childbirth or something you never really worked before. But if I can just get you to the idea of the muscles across through the front of your pelvis, you want to have those muscles, you're placing your hands here, just drawing in and tightening across the front. And this idea of scooping from those lower abdominal muscles all the way up and having those abdominal muscles draw up underneath the rib cage. So you really get that pulled up, lifted feeling. So you'll find kind of as you go through Pilates, there are quite a lot of different things to think about in terms of your body and where you should be. But the most important thing is that you're listening to your body and doing what feels best for you. So I'm just going to go now into a couple of exercises for you that are our basic ones, particularly the lying down ones, I think is what we'll do today. Just so you can get a general kind of idea of what you should be doing as we're adding in the extra kind of progressions throughout the weeks. So something I tend to do a lot of is our curl up. So this is like a mini sit up, but the emphasis is on drawing those abdominal muscles in. So we never want to really feel like we're bracing, pushing outwards and doming. We want to feel like we're drawing in, but without pressing the back into the floor. So with our curl ups, our hands are going to come behind the head. Very important that the elbows are out to the side and your shoulders are drawing down the back of your body. So you don't want to pull on the head and neck. We're going to take a breath in, and as you exhale, you want to feel those toe muscles tighten in towards the back, towards your spine. And then as you exhale, you lift the head and shoulders up, keeping a gap between your chin and your chest, but making sure that they don't tuck to come up higher. So you'll feel, if you tilt that tailbone towards you and you brace, it's going to be quite a challenge, so you have to breathe and talk at the same time. But that's kind of your test. So feel free to test it out at home. You want to curl up and be able to hold it here, neutral through the pelvis so it's not tucked. We're still long through the body, gap between the chin and chest, abdominal muscles drawing in, and we can still talk and breathe. But you've also got the nice support of the hands behind the head to come back down. So we're going to do 8 of these. So you're going to exhale, come up. Inhale, come down. I want you to think about your tailbone reaching towards your heels. Those abdominal muscles scooping up and underneath, because those upper abdominal muscles we want to be working. Inhale to come back down. Breathing out. And try and reach the end of your breath. And then inhale. So a lot of Pilates does focus around breath, but it can take a little while sometimes for the breathing to sink in and feel a little bit more normal. So breathing out. And as you come down, keep the rib cage soft. So don't let it lift each time. We're staying closed here, staying connected. Good, 2 more. Really keeping the elbows right in your peripheral vision, so don't be tempted to pull forwards on your head. Good, and 1 more time. Go through that checklist, checking the pelvis, checking the elbows, checking the gap between the chin and chest, and check you're drawing in, and coming back down. Brilliant. Okay, so they are your curl-ups, and that's a kind of like a foundation exercise and a preparation exercise for kind of lots of others that we do. Another one we do is our knee folds, which gradually builds up to double knee folds, which we'll probably do quite swiftly. But you'll have options kind of throughout the weeks. And so all you want to do with your knee fold is it's focusing on these lower abdominal muscles. And like we mentioned, you want to perhaps place your hands on the front of your pelvis. And the muscles that run across here, then you want to just try to draw them down so you begin to feel them tighten. Now you want to hold on to that connection as you begin to lift one leg away. And the idea is that we're lifting the leg using the centre rather than really focusing on lifting the leg from the hip flexor and the surrounding muscles. So obviously that muscle is going to come into play a little bit, so it has to allow you to do that movement. But you're going to draw in, you want to almost feel that that leg floats up. Knee is always going to be above your hip. Shin is parallel to ceiling. Never too far in, never too far out. Again, it differs from person to person. And then we bring it back down. Then we change legs, breathing out and breathing in. And you're going to want to make sure you're maintaining balance through your pelvis. So as you switch from one leg to the other, we want to make sure that the pelvis isn't rocking with the movement. We're maintaining our pelvic stability and then coming back down. Good, so do a couple more on each side. Just floating up. Think about just drawing down through the back of the body. Good. And it's surprising if you're doing the exercise correctly. So for those of you again who've been doing lots of Pilates with me previous to this one, it's surprising how much work you can still get through this. And I think I said this in one of my classes before. It doesn't really matter how long you've been doing Pilates. It's not necessarily that it gets easier. You get better at it, of course, but it also in a way gets harder because you learn to understand the connections and you'll be able to access them on a kind of a deeper level. So actually you're working those muscles more the longer you're doing it, even if it's just the basic fundamental exercises. Okay, let's just finish it on the other side for an equal amounts. Lovely. Now another basic one is just our knee openings. So I'm going to ask you to kind of press down into your right foot. Now as you exhale and relax your shoulders, you're going to open out your left knee to the side. Now here again, we're checking for that pelvic stability. So we haven't shortened on one side or the other. There's equal space between the hips and the ribs on both sides. And we haven't let that right hip come away. We're going to really draw down through the right side of the body, down into the back, to maintain the balance and symmetry through the upper body. And then we're going to change sides. Now you're going to press down to that left foot. And you're going to come back up. And the entire time, I'm active through those abdominal muscles. I'm drawing my navel to the spine. I'm keeping my shoulders relaxed. So I'm only having to put in kind of like the effort into one area. So I'm relaxed everywhere else. But I'm also conscious that it's a whole body form of exercise. So while one thing is moving, something else is stabilizing. And it's really being conscious that we're not rocking from side to side, we're staying balanced. Brilliant, good. Okay, I'm going to take you in my final fundamental, which is my favourite fundamental, is your spine curl. So your spine curl starts with the pelvic tilt, and that's really where the fundamental begins. So it's, again, activating through those lower abdominal muscles. You're going to exhale and you tilt your pelvis towards you to try and now you are going to bring your lower back into the floor, and then you're going to inhale and release it away. So if you imagine your pelvis like a bowl of water, you want to tilt that water towards you and then inhale to lengthen and release that tailbone. But this time you are rocking, but you're only rocking because you're engaging through those lower abdominal muscles to tilt and then release. There's no extra pressure going down into your feet right now. It's just a tiny little rocks. Good, and then it's from here that we can begin to tilt that pelvis, engage and press into the feet, and then we're going to peel the spine away one vertebrae at a time to open those shoulders out, and then rolling back down. And you'll see throughout the weeks we can add in arms, we can add in legs, we can add in leg lifts. There's lots of different things we can do. We can add in props, but this is just a really great one to help with spinal mobility. So you want to really try and work one vertebrae at a time, and from here we want to shift that weight forward so we can really lengthen and open rather than sitting back into those shoulders. So we're going to lengthen forward through our knees, open those shoulders out, press the hips up, and then soften through the backboard to come to the floor. Good, just going to do one more. Just rolling through the spine, one vertebrae at a time. And then coming back down, upper back, middle back, lower back, neutral. Brilliant. Okay, and bring yourself back to sitting. Okay, so those are just a couple of the fundamental exercises that I tend to use in my classes. There are lots more that we can do and lots more that you'll find out as we go throughout them, with lots of various progressions and modifications for you. But if anything, this was just a nice little recap, a nice little workout for those abdominal muscles. So feel free to tune back into this one at any point. Remember, you can access the videos at any time you like and just kind of retrace your steps, go back to what feels good for your body and just learn a little bit more and make these connections deeper. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you very soon.